think. I think they. Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of KUPA TV live on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Elaine Watson and I'm your host today. We have an exciting show. This is going to be one of those episodes that I think you're going to want to save. You're going to want to visit it again, and you're probably going to want to watch it again because it's going to be so informational about e-file bits, the differences between them, when to use them, why to use them, and why maybe not to use them. So stay tuned and you'll hear a lot more. You'll see some videos. There'll be everything you need to learn. But first, we have to talk about our giveaway. Today, because we're talking about bits, the giveaway is going to be our 10-piece bit kit. So to make sure that you're in to win, go to kupainc.com/pages/win. Enter only once. Like us on Facebook. Go into our chat. Make sure you ask questions, make comments, be interactive. And by the end of the broadcast, we'll pick somebody to win. And if you don't win, don't worry. Everybody's a winner. Today, our promo code that you can use is KTV2. That means KUPA TV episode 2, but it's KTV2. If you use that at KupaInc.com, you can get 25% off everything except the classes, workbooks, parts and services, and hand pieces. And guess what? We've killed the expiration time. So instead of it, expiring Friday at midnight, we're leaving it open because we've decided if you're watching this after the live and maybe it's a few days from now, we still want you to be able to take advantage of that discount and let us know that you watch this broadcast. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my guest host today. She's a very good friend of mine, very beautiful educator. She's international educator for KUPA, Japanese, amazing artist. My very good friend Mie Kitabayashi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here too. We have so much that we're going to talk about. I know. And it takes two KUPA educators to cover all these bits. Yeah. Before we go to bits though, I want to share nail news. We're adding a little bit today of nail news because we have so much going on at KUPA that we want to share. 2 weekends ago, we were at the Nail Pro Pasadena show, and I wanted to share with you all a video that our graphics guy, John Tran, made of the show. But we had a little technical difficulties. So we're going to share with you that video right now so you can check out how amazing our booth was at Nail Pro Pasadena. And the crowd was enormous. So go ahead and roll that video. I am the head booth judge at the global competition Nail-Olympia, and I've been doing that for the last 6 years. KUPA is now a proud sponsor of the Nail-Olympia London show, so we wanted to share that with you. But we also had a very exciting thing happen last year at the Nail-Olympia London show. We had a camera crew following us around for the entire London show, filming for an episode on a Canadian television show called Champion du Monde. I'm going to say this wrong. It means world champion in French. And so we're really excited. The show aired in Canada, I believe, last week on TV5. So this is Champions du Monde. And that's the host of the show. He was such a riot. He was such a really nice man. The show is in French. I would have given you the link. If you guys want it, I'll put it up after the broadcast. But I was interviewed, so there was some opportunities for me to have spots on the show, and we have some images to share of that happening. Just me doing my judging thing and being interviewed. Jan Arnold was there at the time. She was interviewed. So it's a cool, exciting thing to have our show, competition in London, being on Canadian TV. So for my Canadian friends, check it out, especially if you speak French. Cool. So let's get to the education part. We are going to show you a video clip of each and every bit. I want to preference it by saying we're only doing one grit per, unless it only is that grit. So for your reference, when we're using carbides or diamonds, they're all going to be medium grits, but we'll let you know what they come in, what colors they come in. But the videos you'll be watching will be of a medium grit bit. And I wanted to kind of try and start out in an order that maybe made sense to our brains. And so the first videos we're going to show you are bits to do natural nail work. So the first video we're going to share is the KUPA Diamond bit for manicure. So in case anybody doesn't know, diamond grits are different. They're abrasion added to the bit itself rather than carbides that the flutes are cut into the metal. So this bit is a 1000 grit, and it is so incredibly gentle, but it removes dead tissue. So if you're removing cuticle around the nail, you can get right in there and even lean up against the skin and exfoliate.
It has glit on the top too.
Top of the head.
Yeah, top of the head.
So fantastic bit. If you combine it with our final phase oil, you get a really gentle, safe manicure.
You don't even feel nothing. Like you even feel like more like soothing kind of feeling, because it doesn't have any sharp edge or anything.
I stopped using nippers when I started using this bit because I just exfoliate my own skin around the nail.
I really actually like want everyone to try it, because like everyone like kind of like want to use like those like LPM manicure system, but they cannot stop using nippers. But once you're starting using like more and more like bits and the manicure with the e-files, actually your clients or your own cuticle doesn't grow that much.
Right.
Well, like versus when you're using nippers.
Yeah, if they keep them pushed back, they don't stretch out. And so you're able to just exfoliate. And if you ask your client, do you like it when I nip you? They'll probably say no. So it's a great technique. We have a class on it here at KUPA Training Center. So you can go online and look for when we're going to have a class and attend it. And you get an actual manicure pedicure class altogether. So I'm going to move to the next video, and I'll check in on your comments, and we'll see if you have any questions we can go back to. But the next one is also a natural nail care video, and this video is to do enhancement prep. So if your soak-off gel requires you to prep the nail, or if you're doing artificials like hard gel, poly gel, acrylic, this bit is fantastic for prepping the nail. So let's check out that video.
Everyone say like love that bits.
Yeah. Rachel says that since you came back from Nail Pro video, I'm muted. But nobody else is saying it. Okay. Okay. So this is the enhancement prepper bit. This is 250 grit. So if you're using a hand file, that's around 220. Think about this is just slightly smoother than a 220 grit file, because of course the higher the number, the smoother the grit. And I love, we've changed our techniques to making sure that you always go in the direction of the growth of the nail when you're working on a natural nail. And this bit also has grit on the head, so you can exfoliate that cuticle
wall
while you're prepping. One of my other favorite bits. I do want to say, and because I didn't share the video, that we at KUPA also have a mandrel that you can apply a smooth sanding band to, and you can use that in placement of the enhancement prepper bit to prepare the nail. And it's also a nice option because the bands can be thrown away, right? Which do you prefer to use? Do you do the bands or do you do the enhancement?
I use actually both, depending on what service I'm gonna do afterwards. Like if I'm gonna use like sanding band anyways during like when I'm doing like, let's say like hard gel extension or like a gel enhancement, I'm gonna use like sanding band. Or like depending on like if I have clients afterwards, because like after using like the enhancement prepping bit, like you wanna disinfectant.
Yeah.
So if you wanna use for the other client, maybe you're gonna choose to use sanding band. So like it's like having both. It
segues to something I've always suggested as an educator. If you're going to use a set number of, say, bits, and usually once you get good at this, you come down to a good solid 5 or 6 bits that you use on a regular basis. And I always say, if you know what bits you use on a regular basis, buy several of them. Save all of your sanitizing and disinfecting until the end of the day.
True.
And do it all at once, and then you're not having to do in between. And then that brings me to something I didn't even think of in my notes. If you're disinfecting them and putting them from the disinfectant right into your handpiece, and any of that moisture is still on the shank of the bit, you can cause rust to happen inside the collet, the head of your handpiece. It's something we see actually very often here in our repair center. So you want to make sure that after you come out of the disinfectant, you're washing them with soap and water to remove the harsh chemical of the disinfectant, and make sure they're thoroughly dry before you ever put it back in your handpiece. Also, if it's wet, the powder sticks to the bit.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize it's still wet. Like, let it spin for a little bit.
Maybe.
Like, water
maybe
droplets can hide in the
maybe
flute.
And then like the air thing.
Yeah, my air can is amazing. I love it. Okay, so I just want to check in. I don't know if you've seen any questions. I want to make sure. I love this. So niece is saying she's a new tech. So she's timid when using an e-file, which I so respect people who feel timid. I'm more afraid of the people who don't feel timid when they touch it for the first time, because sometimes that you do damage. Yeah, it's good to be timid. You want to be careful. Okay, I'm just checking to see if we have any questions. Until you have to replace them. How long do the bits last with regular use until you have to replace them? Okay, so to answer this question, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because are you doing, let's say, only acrylic work all day long, and you're doing 10 people a day and you're using the same bit? You're going to wear it out a lot faster. I mean, generally, how often are you going through them?
Every few months.
Yeah, every 3 to 4 months, I think.
But I have a tip for this.
Okay.
Like, especially like who using like a nail enhancement before gels, like you want to remove the acrylic, the color from the acrylics or hard gel with the e-file bits. Try to buy either coarse or maybe at most medium. Then like when you use, like after a while, like this coarse bit gonna wear down to the medium, and the medium go down to kind of fine. So like when you're starting with the fine, like you like after using like a sharp edge, like you have to throw it away. But like if you buy coarse, maybe like you can like, you can
repurpose them.
Yeah, and then just buy again the coarse one.
Yeah, I think the repurposing is great too, because if you use it and you start to dull it out, there's always other things you can use it for. Like, okay, if you bought a coarse or medium carbide and you were using it to remove acrylics, once it got dull, that'd be a good one to use to remove hard gels, which are much softer than acrylics. So Rachel's chiming in. Rachel's in the chat today. She says to indicate, indicate if the bidirectional one direction. I am covering this later, but it's a good time to say it now. As I go, I will indicate the bits that are not multi-directional. All of our bits, people who are left-handed or right-handed, specifically the left-handers, are always wondering if the bits work in both directions. Our bits are all cut to go in both directions, so whether you're left-handed or right-handed, except for two of our bits right now, are Typhoons, Typhoon Radius and Typhoon. The first two bits I showed only come in those two grits, 1000 and the 250. And those two bits are only in silver because all of our diamonds are in silver. Phyllis Carlson asked, are all the bits that we're visiting today in that bit kit? And no, I'm visiting every bit we sell, but at least in one grit. So the 10-piece bit kit is only 10 of them. Today, you're going to see every bit, and we're going to tell you why you would use them or what you can use them beyond, just the normal. Let's go to the next video, and then I'll check in on what else we have going for questions while the next video. So this next one, we're going to show you a traditional barrel. The barrels, I feel, for carbide are the first I ever remembered. Like, they're the ones that have been around the longest. I think people who've been using them since they started e-filing, maybe, in the 80s and 90s, are still using them more than likely today because they're comfortable with them. And they're great, great bit shape. So let's look at the large barrel, medium grit again, carbide. So the large barrel has two straight sidewalls. There's no grit on the head of the bit, only on the actual bit itself. And she's gonna bring a nail. So for this bit, you can use it for many things. You can use it to go around the cuticle and slope that product down to meet without overlapping onto the natural nail at the right angle. You can go over the entire surface and do some, detail filing after you've applied your product. It's also, I think she's going to go to next. Actually, that's a good spot right there. Can you see how it's shaving? Carbides shave where diamonds grind, and I'm going to keep pointing out when you can really see that on the video. This is just showing how you can also shape around, cut in a rough shape, which you can fine tune with your hand file.
But so much easier with the file.
Saves time.
Saves your arms.
Yeah, a lot of time and wear and tear. And then you can also, increase the speed, and you can shorten a nail with this same bit. This one bit does so much. It's like the one bit that does it all. Clean under the nail.
Yep.
And the last thing she's gonna show is you can cut. If you do backfills in pink and whites and you need to recut that smile line, this bit, because the top of the head of the bit is still sharp, the edges are sharp, you can cut a smile line.
You can do the unicorn horn design with this too.
The unicorn?
cutting.
Oh yeah, to get the shape of the unicorn. Ooh, maybe we have to have you demo that on the show sometime.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so as this video finishes out, I'm gonna start taking questions because I love this question from CC Curtis. She says, do you like I think she means carbide versus ceramic. You'll notice as the video goes on today, and we're not even addressing ceramics because a lot of the states don't allow them because ceramic can tend to be porous and doesn't truly disinfect to the state board standards. So at KUPA, we don't sell any of them because we're a pro company, and the last thing I want to do is sell a bit to a pro, have state board walk in and catch you using it and have you get fined.
No.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very good. But what do you, you're still doing a lot in a lot of clients. Do you have a preference over, say, carbide or diamond? Which is your favorite, or do you like them both?
Depends on what use, I guess. Like, I use both. Like, literally, like, I'm using, like, a lot of different bits, like, for different uses. Michelle is asking, like, how do you keep the tab? Like, like a
on the
tell that it-
timeline of your bits.
yeah.
She says she's really bad at remembering which are my newer bits and older bits. I think the more you use them, you just know. You start to go to use it, and it's just not.
Feel it with your finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you wash away the disinfectant solutions, like in the water, rinsing it, I think like when you gently touch the sharp edge, like you can feel like this is brand new or not. Because once you use it, especially with acrylics, the sharp edge is gonna actually like round it out.
Yeah, I think if you're really used to using a brand new sharp bit, when it starts to dull, you're going to notice a difference in your performance.
And like I feel like if you feel like you have to put pressure on the handpiece, that's I think like the maybe time to change to a new one. Because some people are like, my bit doesn't work, or like my e-file doesn't work because you're using the old bits. So you have to put the pressure on your hands and arms, but that's not the right use for the e-file on the bits.
Yeah. I should go back also because Cece mentioned ceramic, but she didn't mention pumice. There's like some bits that are kind of a pumice, and it just made me think of it. Those as well. Like if for some reason it was exposed to fluid, blood, pumice would absorb it, so you can't disinfect it. So stick to the stainless steel, titaniums, like the metals. Those you can put in a disinfectant, and you can truly, by state boards, clean them.
Yeah.
Bianca Penna, I love this comment. She says, I love my Phantom. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and it has been a godsend on my hands. I still need my KUPA bit set. I love that. So again, you know, if you're trained to use an e-file correctly, it could be a godsend and save your body.
Yes.
And keep up with the time. I mean, like there's so much pressure on nail technicians to get done fast now. Whereas when I first started back in the day, I could take 2 hours to do a full set, and people would pay me $100, you know. Now it's like they want to get in and get out so fast, and you're just working hard. So, and especially if you have rheumatoid arthritis. All right, so let's see, I think I'm going to go to the next video, and I'll keep scanning your questions. So the next is the same. It's just in our barrels, you have a choice. You have a large barrel and you have a small barrel. So I wanted to show you the difference. So the next video is the small carbide barrel in silver, and it's a medium grit again. And actually, while the video is rolling, I'll tell you about the grits on both of these. Yep. So the large barrel and the small barrel, they both come in fine, medium, coarse, extra coarse, extra coarse, but the large barrel comes in XXX coarse, which I have yet to see in action.
Looks like a pineapple.
Yeah, and I actually have some graphics coming up soon to show you the difference in the flutes, and you'll understand how you can look at the flutes in person. But see the difference in the small barrel? You're just looking, you're able to see more of the nails, so sometimes people prefer the small barrel. If you're really comfortable and sort of, I don't know, my joke is always I use Star Wars, you know, like if you're a Jedi of e-filing, you don't need to see all of the nail. You're looking for more coverage.
You feel it.
Right, with the bigger bit, you're getting more surface coverage of the large barrel, so you're getting more work done in less time.
Maybe.
Whereas the small, you know, covers less surface space, but you can see. So this one, again, the head is sharp. You can go around the cuticle, over the whole nail. You can shape it, you can shorten it, clean underneath the nail, and you can also cut back that smile line if you're gonna do pink and white backfill. I'm gonna go, let's have a look at any questions. Oh, this is a nice one. Janessa Harrington says, sometimes when I do a pedicure, the skin is really thick in places. What would be the best bit for that? The diamond? We do have a pedicure diamond bit, but in our pedicure system that we show when using our e-file bits, you can actually use our typhoons. I like to use the typhoon radius, and you might go, oh, but that's a carbide. But if you go to the finer and medium one, you can safely and gently remove the callus on the foot.
Yep.
So that was our small barrel carbide. So yeah, you can use the Typhoon Radius is a really good option in a finer medium, and a dry pedicure. Take the class. You know, we have these classes at KUPA, and we do a demo day every
Monday.
We've been doing every other Monday.
Every other Monday.
I think we're going to go to every one a month.
Yeah.
But they're free. You can come down. You can talk to the educators.
A very good opportunity to question answer. We are gonna answer like all of you guys' questions. There's no timeline. Like you can talk to me or other educator like as long as you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a great opportunity. So go to KupaInc.com, check out the classes link, and follow when our classes are booked. Like I said, the RPM manicure and the pedicure are the same day. So you'll learn how to do a dry pedicure using the e-file bits to remove all of that. I want to go to Mindy Jones. She says, I noticed that Phoenix put the bit all the way in. Should it be out a little, or is it okay to be right up in the handpiece? I feel like everybody has a different take on this. My fear is if you don't put it far enough in, and you will drop that handpiece at some point. I have a graphic for you coming up in a minute. You're more likely to bend the bit and the shank. So putting it further in is good. As far as if it's right up against the collet, I usually will just go out a smidge, just so it's not resting on my collet. I don't even know that. It's just you're opening yourself up to putting more pressure onto the collet that you don't need. But it doesn't need to be sticking out.
Yeah, how much gap you need to leave is it's for personal preference, or like what kind of like lengths of nails do you do? Because if you do like the lengths like mine, like you want to put it out the bits a little longer. But we always saying is like before you change the bits, like make sure you take off all the dust. Like when you put in the bits, like these dust not gonna get into the handpiece.
100% so important. That's another thing we see at the repair center a lot. You don't even realize if you're not removing the dust. When you take one bit out, when you're going to put the next one in, you're pushing dust into the handpiece. That's a really good, cover. Phyllis Carlson says, do you recommend seasoning a new bit edge of a hand file so it doesn't cut? Wait a minute.
Taper. She's talking about taper.
New bit edge of a, but she says of a hand file so it doesn't cut. I think maybe, do you mean like, okay, on a hand file we always score the edge so that we don't cut. I feel like maybe, and I could be wrong, and Phyllis, please let me know if I'm wrong. Are you thinking maybe we do that to our bits? And I'm gonna say no. If you're worried about a sharp edge, as you see, we're gonna go into some more bits here, and we have soft edges.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you want a sharp edge, the last thing you wanna do is go knocking it down. I'll show you in the next one's coming up.
It's gonna answer her question.
Yeah, let's go to the next video, which is our medium, oh wait a minute, no, this is our, 5-in-1. And after the 5-in-1, we're gonna do the 3-in-1, and then we're gonna break to a graphic to explain the differences. So let's go to the 5-in-1 video, and I want to show you what a 5-in-1 bit is, because it's a pretty special bit. And this is the evolution of carbides. We had the barrels, which came out. This one is for any of you who maybe don't have our e-file, and you need a 1/8 shank. See how the bit couldn't go all the way in? She's putting it in our machine, which uses a 332. So the beginning of the shank fits our machine, whereas that part that's sticking out is a fatter shank. So if you have a machine that uses a 1/8, you can use this bit. Of course, it goes in both directions if you're left-handed or right-handed, as the previous bits did. You can do the cuticle, you can do the side, over the top. This also, you can do the shape and shortening. And the head of the 5-in-1, while the bit itself tapers smaller towards the top of it is sharp. So as you see, after she cleans underneath the nail, she's able to cut a smile line with this bit just as well as she was able to cut a smile line with the barrel bits. So really, so far, the difference between our two barrels and this bit is the tapered shape and the addition of the 1/8 shank. Yeah. Do you use this one at all, Mie, or what's?
Sometimes I use it, like when I'm, let's say like disinfectant in a regular barrel, and then like there's 5-in-1 in my bit, like I use it. Like I can't use everything actually. Like I have some of my favorite ones, but like I can literally use everything.
Yeah. I definitely have my favorites. And I have to say too, some of our educators have enlightened me to some. Like the next bit I like to say is it's Ann Chang's favorite. And if you've ever taken a class with Ann, it's probably your favorite too. And that's the 3-in-1. So like I had favorites, and then as I've been exposed by all of you on your favorites at the demos, at the beauty shows, I've actually opened my eyes to new favorites. But the next one is definitely, I just want to make sure we don't have any questions. If you see anything, Kupa ever go nail schools? Oh, Cece wants to know if we ever go to nail schools. We do have some schools that we work with, and we're always open to new schools. We're growing our education team right now, and as we grow throughout the United States, we probably will be visiting local schools around our educators. So, but we do offer on our website a kit for students. I like to think of it as it's great if you're a student, but it's also great if you graduated and you need to learn more because you're just not feeling like you got enough. It has a workbook and it has videos for all of the workbook. And we may just be having some finishing school classes coming to our training center. So that's a great question. Let's see. Okay, here's one off the topic, but Alicia Schmidt is saying, you know, we're talking about e-files, about how long do the triptych powders last for? Does it have an expiration date? Generally speaking, I mean, there aren't, but we like to say you should use it within a year, because once you've opened it, you're allowing, you know, dust coming down from the ceiling or contaminants to get in. The chemicals themselves don't have moisture and they don't grow bacteria, but I don't know. It's just best if you use it within a year. The chemicals can change over time, so you definitely want to renew your chemicals. Do you see anything you want to address? Oh, Linda Lamb. Hi, Linda. She also says it's great for all of these bits, by the way, but the 5-in-1 particularly is great if you want to remove really fast, and she's right. So, okay, let's go to the 3-in-1 because it seems like, oh, Ann's here. Hey, Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Ann, you're just in time. Here comes your 3-in-1 bit.
Yeah.
So let's go to the 3-in-1 video, and I'll show you the difference between the 5-in-1. It looks very similar, but it's quite different. So the 5-in-1 and the 3-in-1, I just want to say, come in both fine, medium coarse, extra coarse, and XX coarse. Both, as well as the previous barrels, are all available in silver and gold. So as you see, her bit can go back into the collet further because she doesn't have that 1/8 shank on the 3-in-1. And this is the bit for those of you that felt like you need to score the edge or soften the edge of the other bits. The 3-in-1, if you touch it with your finger, that top edge is actually rounded and softened. So it doesn't have a sharp edge, and so you won't see the demonstration cutting a smile line with this bit because the sharp edge is gone. But it's great for working around the cuticle, for over the top. You can shapen the nail and you can shorten it, and you can also remove product with it. But I think that soft edge on the top is why a lot of people really like it.
3-in-1.
Especially if they're new. If you're not doing pink and white back fills, to me, this would be a perfect bit.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's just like the 5-in-1, it's tapered. Yeah, quick and easy. I love these videos. So please continue to share your questions with us. I'm looking at these religiously while I'm trying to talk about the video, because the more questions you ask, the better this video will be to anybody in the future who is questioning what bits they should be using or how to use them. We're going to take a break from some of these videos, and I want to go to some graphics that we have to help you understand or just recap the difference in these 3 bits. So let's go to the 3 bits graphic. And this is just a side-by-side for you. So the bit on the left, that's the large barrel. The bit in the middle is the 5-in-1, and the bit on the right is the 3-in-1. So visually, you can see that the barrels have straight sidewalls to the bit. It doesn't taper. The 5-in-1, you can see where it tapers, but then you can also see that addition of the shank difference, the 1/8 versus the 332. And it has the sharp head on the top, so you can cut that smile line. The 3-in-1 looks nearly identical to a 5-in-1, unless you know to look for that difference in the shank. And again, the 3-in-1 has that soft head. So the next visual that we have for you is a great one to help you determine by sight what is a fine bit and what is a coarse bit. And you said this earlier about the XXX coarse. You said it kind of looks like a pineapple.
It looks like a pineapple head.
Yeah, so on the visual of the flutes, the less flutes there are, the coarser the bit. And the more flutes there are, the finer the bit. And you'll feel the difference in the smoothness. So if it looks like a pineapple, it's much coarser. And then this last visual I wanted to show you is something you may already have seen in your life. But this is what I was explaining earlier, that if you leave your bit too far out of your handpiece and by accident you do drop it, you're more apt to bend the bit, or even worse, hurt the collet or your handpiece. Now, you know, life as you know it is over because your handpiece isn't working.
Sometimes like the shank is gonna stay in the handpiece, like you cannot.
Oh, you can't even get it out. I've seen them where they've lost the head entirely, and just the shaft is stuck in the handpiece. We've had people call all the time, say, "How do you get it out?"
I know you can't.
There's no way. There's just no way. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys those visuals before we went on, just so that you can see. And just to give you an understanding too, think about carbides as shaving. And I said earlier, I'll point out when I can show you some shaving, because we're going to later on show you some diamonds, which do some grinding. Do you see anything in the chat? Any questions to address? Oh, Tiffany Marie is asking, how much does the under nail cleaner, how much does the under the nail cleaner butt take off? I have a lot of clients who are hairdressers and they want me to take their nail down to remove color stains. If you use the under nail cleaner in the carbide, we're going to show it. So there is a carbide versus a diamond. I think the carbide one could shorten a nail, natural nail. For an artificial, I would go to one of the other carbides, or even a diamond barrel. What do you think?
Maybe cover a bit.
Yeah.
To shorten the artificial nails.
Yeah. If they have color staining on their full natural nail too, a trick I used to do, because I've always done the RPM manicure. If you put a little bit of the final phase from Kupa oil on the nail itself and use the manicure diamond bit, the first bit video we showed you, when you're done doing the cuticle part, you can go over the whole nail, you know, and you can gently buff off some of that color staining they have going on. I wouldn't do it every time they come in though, because I think over time it would just compromise that top layer of the nail. But it's a problem all of us have if you're working with hairdressers.
Yeah.
Niece Norwood says, what bits and or barrels would you recommend for beginners, and which coarseness, if that makes sense? If you have never taken a class, I almost really wish you would stick to diamonds, especially like the fine and medium. But you know what? Just don't go thinking everything is safe. It's so important that you take a class and you learn how to use everything properly, because I can cut people with a hand file. I've done it.
Yeah.
If you didn't score the edge, all you do is go down that sidewall and you paper cut someone. So to really say something is safer for newbies, it's
maybe starting from like fine and going to medium, and starting from like maybe lower speed, because speed is also matter too, depending on what kind of like coarseness of bits you use.
Okay, Mindy Jones says she noticed that you have to turn the lock twice on the handpiece to lock and unlock the bits. Yeah. The chuck goes in one direction to unlock and one direction to lock. So it's not like a double maybe if she's fumbling in the video, it could look like it. So Bianca Penna was lucky enough that she broke the head off of a bit before, but it had a little piece sticking out that she was able to pull it out with some nippers. Phew! You got lucky. That's when I say that your work angels were looking over you that day. Okay, so Janessa Harrington is wondering, what is the RP Mani? The RPM manicure, as we call it at Kupa, it's just a term that we kind of made up called revolutions per manicure. And it serves two purposes. You're doing an e-file manicure, so you're using your RPM, revolutions per minute. But the second play in it is, you know, back when the Russian manicure was getting too much airtime and everybody was talking on social media about the negativity of it, you know, I spoke up and was like, hey, there are safe bits, there's safe ways to do it. So by training all of the people we have on the RPM manicure, we've started e-file revolution per manicure. So we're just trying to get the word out there that there are safe bits, 1000 grit. We know, we've seen it under a microscope, so it's not damaging the nail when it's doing the cuticle removal. So, you know, when done with the right technique, with the right bit, it's a great service. Do you see anything you want to hit?
She want to know what's the differences in between carbide bits and diamond bits.
Oh, that's Niece Norwood. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so carbide bit has like sharp brace, and then diamond bit doesn't have any brace on top. So like it's like kind of like a fan file kind of texture, but depends on the grid. So like you can use on the natural nails, but never use carbide bit on natural nails. Even you're using, like, let's say like you use a carbide barrel on when you do fill, you're never gonna touch natural nails with carbide bit.
So basically a carbide has flutes cut into the metal, whereas diamond bits have grit that's applied to the metal. So it's more like a grinding, it's more like sanding, whereas the carbides are more like shaving.
Yeah, so when my clients coming back for fills, like normally I do like gel color on top of acrylics. So I use carbide bit to remove the color, but I don't use carbide bit to sanding the natural nails before the acrylic fills. I switch to the diamond bit to do cuticle work and then the sanding the natural nails.
So I think it was Mindy Jones made a great comment about carbide for removing product and diamond for fine tuning. I happen to be one of those people who is absolutely in love with diamond. I was a carbide user first, and then I had the greatest class from a talented e-file user who preferred diamonds. And for me, back in the day, the technique of using carbides, you left a lot of flat passes, and so you had to grab a hand file and still, you know, perfect the surface of the nail. When I got my diamond bit training, I learned how I could file both directions at one time, from skin to skin, and contour the nail while working if you perfected your acrylic application already. So for me, my training, I can use a diamond to do my lateral sides, my under, my shaping, my surface work. I can literally do everything with my one diamond bit in my handpiece. Whereas I used to take bits out and do different bit changes. It's personal preference again. Once you take a great class, you modify your techniques and you pick the bits you like. I think we should go on to our next bit, which is our tapered barrel. And I wanted to show this one next because it looks very similar to the 3-in-1 and the 5-in-1. And I wanted people to see it. It's actually quite smaller than the 3-in-1 and 5-in-1. And it has only a medium grit. It doesn't come in any other grits, but it's available in gold and silver. So let's see the tapered bit. It's also, again, carbide too. I should specify that. I should have done a side-by-side because it is much smaller, but it's a great bit to get into the cuticles and get really tight without risk of getting close to the skin. see, it's much smaller. I suppose if you're watching this after the live, you could switch between the 3-in-1 and this bit and really see the size difference. Again, you know, it could do the same as, say, a 5-in-1, but surface space is so different. And you can already see even the length of this nail makes it difficult with such a tiny bit to do a lot of the work. But it's, I think, a great cuticle, getting in tight and refining your product at the cuticle area. But there you can see she still uses it over the whole nail, down the sides. And that's pretty much the tapered carbide. The next one we can go to, since it's so similar, let's watch the video on the safety bit, because it looks very similar to the tapered carbide, but it has this great rounded head that is completely grit free. So this carbide bit, again, small like the tapered. The top of the head is not sharp at all, so you don't have to worry if you're going up against the skin. I believe, Richard, you can correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't this Vicky's bit? Yeah, or Vicky started this. Vicky Peters, beloved by all in the industry. If you're using this bit, you can give a little wink wink to her, because this was hers. Let's see. How many bits are we showing you today? I have in total 20, I think, videos. And we're just about halfway through. That was video number, almost halfway through. That was video number 8. So that one, again, only comes in the medium, and it does come in gold and silver. The next one I want to show you is a Typhoon Radius. The transition into this one is the fact that it also has that rounded safety head, but is bigger. So if we go right to the Typhoon Radius video, I can show you there's a significant size difference. This Typhoon also has straight sides. Now this is the first bit, make a mental note, that is only cut in one direction. So the Typhoon and the Typhoon Radius can only work in a right-handed or forward motion on your, if you file in both directions when you're going backwards, it's just doing nothing. Yeah. It's just riding the nail. But this bit also is really great for doing all of your finishing work, because the shape of it is straight. You're able to get close to the cuticle and shorten. Because of the rounded head, though, you cannot do like a pink and white cutting back. I love it. Kathy Alicat Kovacic. Safety bits all day long until I got my first one. I constantly cut clients. It's a hard thing to admit too. I applaud you for admitting it. Like, they're intimidating. I love the safety bits. These Typhoon Radius and the Typhoons, I tend to recommend the most at the beauty shows when people come to my demo table, just because I feel like it's a great starting bit if you want to be in carbides, but you are afraid of that head cutting your client.
Yeah,
or
if you're using either safety or Typhoon, like you can literally touch the head and then it's not gonna cut anything.
Yeah. When people come to my demo table at the show, I will hold the bit on their skin and just talk to them and go.
You can do it to the client too. Like, see, like it doesn't hurt you, because like when people somebody already cut their cuticle with the e-files before to come into you, like they're like, no, you're not gonna use that thing on my hand. But you can educate client like you educate yourself.
Yeah. We've been asked if, I want to make sure I say who asked it. Michelle Harbo is asking if we'll be making a reverse Typhoon. I know we've asked for it and we're working on it. We're just not there yet. I had another great question I saw. Oh, Bianca Penna made a cute comment. She says she loves how the silver bits match the passports and that silver has always been her preference. Silver is also my preference, so you can tell who was making decisions and what we were using today. You know what? It's personal preference, silver and gold. There's no performance difference. Some people just like gold and some people like silver. Yep. I tend to prefer silver to the gold just because long term, they look brand new longer. You know, after you start to really use gold for a long time and disinfecting, sanitizing, and using, the gold starts to just wear down. And I think, you know, I don't know. I wear a lot of silver too, so maybe white, gold, and silver and platinum. So I guess that's why I'm going there. But it does match the passport quite pretty.
True.
So that was the Typhoon Radius. Let's show you our first finishing diamond bit. And I'll continue to look at your questions. This is going to be your diamond large barrel that we're going to the video. And just like the, you know, large barrel carbide, this is your finishing bit. But as you can see, the grit is applied to the diamond bit metal as opposed to being flutes that are cut into it like carbides. So instead of, you know, shaving, you're going to be grinding. And this is a good time to touch on the fact that having an E-file that has very little to no vibration and also high torque is really important, because it's not always about needing 30,000 RPMs of speed. Sometimes it's just you want to work at a slower speed, but you have to have torque. And torque is the ability that that bit keeps spinning when it makes contact with the nail, especially right here. That is high torque. That bit did not stop turning as she was shaping that nail, and as you watch, when she presses against it to do shortening, it doesn't stop. So torque is important when you're shopping for an E-file. Don't just ask, what's the RPM? You know, ask them, does it have high torque? And you can turn on the handpiece and, you know, can you stop the bit while it's turning? It's not a good thing to do a lot, but just to test it. Yeah. You want to know. There's nothing more maddening to me than somebody paying for an E-file, getting it to the salon, and when they go to shape or shorten a nail, the bit doesn't even turn. Hate that. So just like the carbide large barrel, straight sidewalls, no grit on top, this isn't a bit you want to use to do a smile line. It's not going to cut the smile line the way that the carbides would. Let's see. Oh no, Tiffany Marie says, oh man, I cut myself bad yesterday with a extra coarse bit. We'll be switching back to safety instead of barrel, too sharp for me. See, and as you start to use more bits, you get exposed to what you're gonna like and what you're not going to. It's also helpful to see all these bits in action, because now you might not have known safety bits are available. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Again, diamond bit. This is the small barrel. So just like carbide, we had the large barrel and the small barrel, same thing. So this is a personal preference on size. It's no different than really the performance-wise. The large barrel and the small barrel diamonds come in fine, medium, and coarse. And all of the diamonds are only available in silver. So if you're looking for our diamonds in gold, you won't be able to find it. Oh, Heather Lundquist says we both look beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is so much info. This is one of those videos where there's so much info, it's hard to keep up with it.
Yeah. We want to talk about everything.
Yeah. So
I think like diamond bit is really, really smart, because I used to use buffer after using E-file like surface work, and then use either sanding band or buffer. And then now if you use diamond bit, you don't need a buffer. You don't even need a maybe file.
Yeah. So just like the other one, it does all the same: cuticle work, surface work, shaping, shortening, cleaning under, no smile lines. But again, it's just smaller. So personal preference on size. Yannick Parker, she says, I'm mad, I'm just tuning in. Don't be mad, because as soon as this live is over, you can watch it on the recorded mode, and it's not too late, Yannick, to share your questions. We'll answer them. And if there's anything you may think you have missed, just go back and watch and listen to all the questions we've covered already. Oh, another thing I was going to say too that's really good, like about diamond medium, is if you finish with a gel top coat, you know, a diamond medium is a good bit to finish with, because the surface of the acrylic is just rough enough that you can apply, like say for example, Kupa's soak off gel tackless top. It's just the right amount of roughness to adhere to. Back in the day, we used to use different bits and get smoother, smoother, smoother so we could high shine buff the nail. But now you can save time and finish with a gel coat. So on those two bits too, you got to see that there's grinding instead of shaving. So Carrie Timmons is asking, which is your favorite diamond bit for a gel fill and removing gel polish? So on the diamond, for me, it's the medium. I like large barrel. Do you have a personal preference between large?
Fill.
Yeah, like gel fill.
Like a hard gel fill?
And the diamonds. So she's saying
Removing
which of our
gel.
diamond bits is my favorite to do a gel fill and remove. I'm going to say she's using hard gel if she's filling it.
Maybe completely removing the hard gel, maybe like you can use a coarse diamond bit. But if you want to just remove the color soft gel, maybe medium.
Yeah. And if you're doing a hard gel fill, you're only working in that back area. So
and if you want to completely remove the soak-off gel without soaking with acetone, then use medium first to take off the color. And then the clear base, maybe you can use a fine diamond bit if you want to go all the way down to natural nails.
Yeah. Carrie says that question was for Elaine because I'm the diamond girl. So for me, doing everything start to finish, if I'm doing an acrylic nail, it's for me large barrel medium. I use large barrel medium the most.
I actually like large too.
Yeah.
And especially like my clients all like longer nails, like longer than medium.
It's, you know, like when you're doing the sides, like if this was a fingernail, right, and it's growing out and you want your sides to come out straight, you know, you can come under the nail with a diamond, and you could be touching the skin as you're coming out the side of the finger, and you know, and it's not so sharp that you're worrying about causing heat or, you know, or cutting them, because it's not the same cut as a carbide. And if you're doing absolute finishing and you're not going to put a gel coat on, you could still use final phase oil, put it over the acrylic, and then do your finish filing with, say, the diamond in medium, and it will trap all the dust. It will eliminate any heat from the friction, and it will actually, I don't know, you can feel a difference in the filing. You're slipping and getting more contouring done better. It's my favorite way to file. I haven't rectified being happy about using it before gel polish. Like if you're gonna use it before a gel polish, they really have to scrub well before you apply that gel polish. And that means using something like Kupa's Basic Cleanser, which is made to remove oils, especially in the RPM manicure. But just sending them with the soap to the bathroom is not going to remove oil from the surface of acrylic well enough to do a gel top coat, right?
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
You need to tell them like how to scrubbing off the oils. Like Elaine always say, like wash your hand, wash your nails.
Scrubbing for surgery. I know.
But that's serious.
I really tell nail technicians to tell their clients scrubbing. Listen, everyone watches Grey's Anatomy at some point in their life. So if you have not watched a surgeon scrub in, you know, you've been living under a rock. If you just tell them to wash their hands, they're just gonna and then they come back and they still have oil, and you'll see it.
So like maybe explain them why you sent them to wash their hands before gel coat. Maybe that will help.
So the next two bits, this first one that we're gonna show you next is a cone bit. And this first video is going to be our cone bit, which is a carbide, and this only comes in a medium, and it comes in gold and silver. So the next two videos are going to be the difference between this one in carbide and the next one will be diamonds. So this one, only one grit, medium. And you know, techs like to use things in different ways. I know people who love to use the cone around the cuticles or in the sides, up the side walls of the nails to get right tight in there. Some of them use them just to clean under the nail and get, you know, especially a long artificial nail, you can get quite in there, and the rounded top head won't, you know, cut the skin if you bump into, you know, I don't know, the hyponychium. So that's her showing flipping it over and using it underneath. And again, you know, carbide just grinds off a little more. So maybe if you have a client who has nails growing out underneath and they want them removed, I would recommend this bit for filing out the natural nail from the backside of an artificial. I want to go right into, so it's fresh in your memory, the diamond cone video. So let's roll that. The diamond cone video, this one, the diamond cone actually does come in 3 grits. It comes in fine, medium, and coarse, whereas our carbide one only comes in medium. So that's the diamond version of what you just saw. Little bit pointier, so you definitely don't want to fall asleep at the wheel and poke at anybody with it, but same thing, you know, great for around the cuticle, up the sides, underneath.
I actually like to use this one like around the tight in the cuticle.
Yeah.
Like kind of like using like a metal pusher.
Yeah.
Similar thing.
Yep. So you definitely have options with this one as far as grits go. Again, diamonds only come in silver, so if you're a gold fan, very sorry, there'll be no gold. I believe the reason for that is the fact that gold's plated, and you can't plate over the grit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really great bit to have around. I prefer this to under nail cleaner myself. Personal preference.
Of course you.
And then for me too, I learned early on that if you use too coarse of a bit on the underside of a natural nail, you kind of open it up to that curl effect that some natural nails will do under artificial nails. And so, you know, when I was working full time at the table, I would use a fine diamond with oil to just on a slow speed, you know, clean underneath, and then I would leave it alone. And I found I got less curling than when I was using a really coarse bit and really just grinding in there.
True.
Yeah. Let's see. Janessa Harrington says that like not to go deep under the nail with that one, and I agree. Especially if your client has a little hyponychium grown out, you always want to be careful not to bump those. So that's our cones. Now this next bit I highlighted in our notes with its own special color because this is by far Elaine's kind of multi I don't know, removal kind of favorite bit. This is the bit I sell the most, I think, just because I like it the most. So this is the Typhoon bit. The reason I like it so much is because I do wear a lot of gel colors, or, you know, I like to remove. I'm always product testing here. So when we came up with Dipfinity, I was putting on sets and taking them off. And this is the bit that got me through all of those.
Yeah, it's actually really easy to use.
The head of this one is a little bit pointier than the radius. And the shape of this one is more football shaped. So would I say use it to do finish filing over the surface? I wouldn't, because the contact area is too small. A flatter or straight sidewall or tapered bit will make more contact with the nail than this football shaped bit. But as far as removing things like soak off gel, if you're, you know, keen to file remove rather than soak off, this bit is so good for that. I love it. And like the others, you can shorten and shape. That one, the yellow disc, signifies that it's a medium.
Yeah.
The fine has a white disc, and the blue means coarse, and red is extra coarse. These are the other bit that only cut right-handed. So no, sorry, you can't go the lefty way. Phoenix.
Yay!
By the way, I should have said this earlier. Those hands on the screen y'all have been watching are
just
Phoenix.
Figured it out.
Yeah, Phoenix was here visiting. We had our educator training. We did Nail Pro Show. So Phoenix was here working extra hard for me, and her hands are the ones doing all these videos.
Thank you, Phoenix.
Thank you, Phoenix, so much. Yeah, so she just said she loves that bit too.
Yep.
Oh, I love that Claire Hansen says she wishes she could product test for us in the UK. Totally possible, because we are in the UK now, and we're building our education team in the UK right now. So if anybody is looking to be an educator for the company, feel free to send your resume to me, Elaine, Watson, at KupaInc.com. The next two bits we're going to talk about are the under nail cleaners. So let's go to the under nail cleaners. The first one is the Carbide under nail cleaner. This comes in gold and silver, and it's only available in the medium grit. So there it is. So not tapered like the cone, just a straight little tiny, gets in tight spaces, just to really get under the nail and clean them. I love that Carrie Timmons says, I figured those beauties were hers. So quick and easy to demonstrate. She's just turning the nails over, getting under there and cleaning inside. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 bits left to go. So I do want to say, if you're going to be at the Orlando show, I'm planning on having my demo table be a Q&A on bits. I've just decided it. You guys all can do all the products. You're always doing products. I have gotten so many questions at the shows. What bit? I don't know what to use. Which one should I get? I'm so confused. So I've decided I'm going to have a sign that says, give me your questions on bits, and I'll be your prescriber. I'll tell you what bits to use.
And if you want to see how it works on demo table, like, you can come to us or other educators.
Exactly.
That
We're
works.
going to be demoing all our products, so you can see them in action on anything. So let's look at the diamond version of the under nail cleaner. Again, only available in medium and only available in silver. Very similar, except just in, you know, how the diamond's made versus the carbide. I love the comments. Tiffany Marie removes quite a bit, exactly what I'm needing. Mindy Jones said this one's good for removing natural nail underneath as well. I agree wholeheartedly. Oh, I love it. Heather Lundquist wants her nails done by Phoenix. I had the privilege. She did my nails for a Nail Pro Pasadena.
Still have one, right?
I still have them on.
Yeah.
I need to fly her and she can do a fill. Or maybe you. No. I can still do them myself. Now I'm pampered. I feel like now that I've had everybody doing my nails, I just don't want to do them myself anymore. Doesn't everybody though? Don't we all feel that way? We work so hard.
We need to do like each other's nails. Like, that's fun. We
have nail play dates when we go to these shows. So the last 4 bits are gonna be your go-to pink and white backfilling bits, unless of course, like we said earlier, you're using the barrels.
Linda said a good thing, like with the cone bit, like take off the limestone adhesive. Or like a bigger charms, like it's easy to get in and then just pop off.
We haven't even talked about removing nail art.
I was gonna say something later. Yeah, Linda was mentioning about it.
I love it. That's a good suggestion. Backfill bits, remember we said you could use either the large barrel, small barrel, the 5-in-1, pretty much mostly it. But here are some specific bits made for doing backfills. So we're gonna show you a carbide 2-week backfill bit. So it's going to be much shorter. So the carbide backfill bits are only available in the 1 grit, and they're all available in gold and silver. So 2-week is for your client who wants that smile line where it belongs every time. This is the client that every 2 weeks when she comes in, she wants that white line put where it belongs. Versus, you know how some techs will put like the smile line further up the bed to buy you some grow out time. I am not that kind of client. I can't stand it. I want long beds, not short beds, you know. So this is very quick and easy, as you can see. You can go in, you can grind down the white, and then you just go back in and fill it with your white powder. The next bit is the 4-week backfill bit. So let's run that video. Looks very similar to the 2-week, but it's a little bit bigger. So more growth, or if it's a client who has much longer nails. So maybe they are filling every 2 weeks and they want their smile line where it belongs, but their free edge is longer. This is great for that. So there you see, she's removing and sharpening that edge to make a nice crisp smile. And you can really see the shaving. See, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about carbides. See the material just come off and it's shaving? And that's a very good example of high torque. You know, she's applying pressure to get in there and bring down the acrylic, and her bit is continuing to move. It's not stopping. So that's the 4-week backfill bit. The third carbide option you have is our 4-week inverted backfill bit. So let's check out that video. The difference in this one, as you can see, is the taper in the shape. It's bigger on the top, smaller at the shank. And that just is for people maybe who, I think, if you are the type of person that you put your arch more centered on the nail or forward, or you have that, you know, people used to put the arch where the stress area is. If your product's a little thicker, I actually like this one better.
I see.
Because it cuts differently it cuts the angle differently. It can go deeper and come out thinner. Hard to put into words. Again, only in the one grit, and it's available in gold and silver. And as you can see, it just really goes in there and cuts that smile line. Phoenix has a theory that pink and whites are coming back. So I'm curious if you're in the chat, are you seeing this trend starting to come back? Are you getting more clients asking for pink and white? I'll be curious to see. I mean, everything always comes back around.
I feel like as a technician, like to knowing how to do pink and white is really, really important. And then like it has like a lot of techniques to learn. Like I'm not perfect about pink and white, but like I'm willing to learn to be perfect.
It's a tough technique.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Tough.
All the years I hated it.
I feel like people feel like it's simple, but it has everything in it.
Yeah, I think it's a very technical style. As a tech, when I was working full-time, I loved doing color acrylics and art and design, and that was my wheelhouse. When I had a client who wanted pink and whites and I had to do backfills, I would have never done a pink and white competition. You know, getting those 10 smile lines so perfect. Or it's a technical skill. If it's coming back, y'all gonna want to take classes, because when it comes to structure, pink and white, you
like
really gotta have it. Because
gonna come up maybe like different techniques or like different things.
Phoenix is echoing what we're saying. Pink and white is technical and very important to learn.
Yep.
Heather Lundquist, nobody wants French anymore, and I'm not a huge fan. I'm kind of with you there. I like color.
A few years ago, I was saying it, like at a salon, like I was like, no one's gonna do pink and white. I don't even like it, but like gradually somehow I started loving it.
Yeah.
Like how they do it, or like even just look at it.
Tiffany Marie's doing a lot of pink and white, so
cool.
she has people getting them.
Cool.
Carrie Timmons says she's taking a break from the salon, but I'm perfecting my pink and whites.
Oh, that's very good.
She's getting ready for when they have to do them.
She should compete.
Yeah, you should compete. Everybody should compete. It's a good way to learn. Alyssa Schmidt says she needs practice. So we have one bit left to show you, and that's the backfill bit for the diamond. And this one is that strange looking like flying saucer you may have seen. Let's roll that footage and you can check it out. This one has a really technical way about it. So the flying saucer. So the outer rim, that round outer rim, that's really what you're cutting with. But when you're cutting the smile line with this bit, it's really all about the angle that you hold the bit.
True. Because
the top above the rim will refine that ledge, while the rim or the space, the flying saucer, I can't even put it into words.
I know.
Yeah, while that cuts the smile, the top of the grit is cutting the wall and making it sharp.
Yeah.
And then you can actually go back after, and I don't think we necessarily got that. Let me see if we got it on the video. You can use the underside of that rim to go back in and shave the rest of the white.
True.
Elaine is gonna say, while it's possible, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Like I would much rather stop my e-file, take that bit out, maybe grab a 5-in-1 and shave the rest of the white off rather than using, you know, the trick is you're saving time switching bits and you're able to shave the white.
But maybe cutting the backfill line, maybe this is pretty useful because you can make it like not straight, but like
exactly
in. So
exactly, inverting it. So what Mie is saying, you're instead of your line being cut straight, let's see if I can do this on an angle. So it's cutting in, and so the white can get in, and it gives you a sharper smile line. I do like that about it, and it is the angle of the wall that really makes a crisp, perfect white smile line. Again, very technical, a lot of work. So I'm just going to check and see if we missed any questions. I don't think classic, you can always add. Okay, it looks like medical. Oh, Phyllis Carlson, this is cute. Medical and law industry, you see asking for pink and whites the most. Yeah, I'm gonna say corporate world.
True.
Yeah, they're not.
They want to have like nice and clean nails, but not too much things going on. And
a lot of nurses aren't even able to wear artificial nails anymore, and I think their way of getting away with it is doing pink and white, so they look very natural.
I feel like more and more people are actually wearing like acrylics versus gels, because gels, like if they wash their hand too much, like it's gonna come off easier.
Yeah.
But if they have like a perfect acrylic set, like it'll even last.
So that's all of my bits. You know, we welcome you to continue the conversation after the live ends. If you have questions, post them in the chat, and we'll do our best to get back and answer all of them. I always look through to try and find any questions that are left because I don't want to leave anybody hanging. But we have a winner to announce because Rachel has sent me who our lucky winner. So the lucky winner of the 10-piece bit kit today is Candy Keaton Leg. Yay, congratulations, Candy. Love your name. Who doesn't love candy?
I love.
Congratulations. Just reach out to us. Rachel will reach out to you in chat and let you know how to go about getting your prize. And of course, the rest of you, everybody's still a winner. Don't forget that you can use the promo code KTV2 at KupaInc.com for 25% off on everything except classes, workbooks, parts and services, and hand pieces. And it doesn't expire. So if you're watching this video after the fact, you can continue to use that promo code and let us know, you know, you were watching this video and it inspired you to buy something. Mie, oh, wait a minute. I was going to thank you, but it's too early. Like us. Make sure that if you're watching this video and you're enjoying what we're doing every Wednesday at 11, like us on Facebook and make sure that you follow us on the rest of our social media. So on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we're at Kupa Inc. And if you're following us on Instagram, it's at Kupa_TV. Mie, how can they follow you?
My Instagram is at Rosy Design, ROSY Design _Mie, MIE. So please follow me over there.
Mie. I love it's pronounce
when I say.
Yeah, pronounce it for them. Mie.
Mie.
Yeah, a lot of people see her name and they.
Some people try to pronounce my name like Miet.
Yeah.
Like Miet.
I've heard so many versions of your name, and now that I've learned it the right way, I feel very defensive. Like, no, it's Miet.
I know all of you guys calling me.
No, Miet.
Miet. Yeah.
And you also taught me how to say kawaii.
Yeah, it's no.
I was taught kawaii.
Yeah, kawaii is like more scary.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Mie is legitimately Japanese. So if you want to check out some crazy, beautiful Japanese nail art, you're gonna want to run over to her Instagram right now.
And I want to have like a comment or DM me to what you guys want to see, because I always checking like the direct mail on Instagram. So like if you guys have any requests, like I would try to put in a picture or a video or something.
You don't get that too often, so take advantage of it. Thank you so much for coming in today, and I always love having you here.
It was fun.
I know, it was. And then, of course, to all of you, thank you for tuning in. We always are impressed and flattered and happy that you join us every week on our Facebook Lives at 11 a.m. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.